traders, thanks for tuning in today. My name is Miat. Today we'll be talking about how the Swiss National Bank operates based on the sight deposit data, and it acts sort of like a holy grail for us to call top and bottoms in terms of swing trades for the Swissy. Sight deposit data is basically money that banks keep in the central bank because they can't do any investments with it. So what happens in times when the banks aren't giving out loans to investors, they'll be holding cash, and per regulation they will have to deposit that cash with the Central Bank of Switzerland, and that will show up in the weekly reports, and we can see those increases. Now there's a couple of things behind that. The reason why people are, or investors aren't interested to get loans is very likely because in the short term they are not certain about how the economy will evolve, or if there's any opportunities to loan money or to borrow money in order to make sound investments. So they will hold back. Most of the times the also coincides or work as a proxy. They can see a sell-off in the stock market. So once investors scale back on borrowing money, banks end up with a lot of cash on their hand, and as per regulation, if they're not lending it out, they have to deposit that with the Swiss National Bank. And we can see these in the weekly reports. If there's a big increase, we know that there is less focus on growth and investors are holding back, which means likely that the franc can appreciate. On the other hand, if you see that this sight deposit data is shrinking, that means less intervention by the Swiss National Bank, and also more investment, risk on environment, and thus we could see that the Swissy will lose in value, and other pairs rising against it, like the Swissy you can see over here. I'm going to show you how you can see those reports, and also how we've managed to call a bottom on Euro CHF last year, right after Macron and the French election. We saw the change in the sight deposits around here, where the increases sharply dropped and sort of nullified by around September. Swiss franc to devalue dramatically. Recently we also seen that in a weekly report from the Swiss National Bank about the sight deposit data. The figure that we are interested in is the total sight deposit in Swiss francs is 575,416. That figure didn't dramatically change from the week before it, and which tells us traders that there isn't much intervention going on, which means also investors are risk on, and it's very unlikely that the Swiss franc will appreciate with lower sight deposits. So it acts as a really good indication, so we can see how far CHF will be volatile going forward. This is about the sight deposit phenomenon. I'm going to give over to Nick. He will share a setup with you and also explain a little bit more about how momentum works in these markets.
Hey there guys, me and Mia decided to do another swing video for you guys with a tip or two at the end. I don't know, we'll see. But we're going to start off here with dollar Swiss. And what you'll notice is we are making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. Our EMAs are pointing up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this bullish push move, and we're going to see, alright, so it hit our 38.2 pretty much to the pip. I mean, it's pretty close. And what I'm going to tell you guys right now, but I'll show you on MetaTrader 4 when we go there, is that this right here is a volume anomaly. So we had price rejecting our 38.2, and if we close above 95.6, so let's actually look at this right now. If we close above 95.648, so let's just call it 95.65, we'll have a possible valid swing trade position that I look at. And what you'll see here, guys, is we had higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher high, you should see a higher low. We have a lot of rejection. Look at all this wick rejection of the 38.2. Wick, 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 wick. One last wick. The EMAs are pointing up. And let's go down to the 1 hour. And what we'll see here on the 1 hour is we have higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low is what we would expect. And as you can see here, I've marked off this area. That's because it's a neckline of our double bottom. Necklines of double bottoms and double tops are very strong support and resistance, and I use them quite often. So what we're looking for, guys, is a pullback into our 95.648 region, 95.65 area. And we're looking to get long somewhere in here to take it up to our target of 96.680. So if we do not pull back into our area, I'll show you guys how to get long when I show you guys a trick when the market has a bunch of momentum. Like it looks like this one could definitely go without hitting this area, but that's alright. We'll still get in it if it decides to meet the criteria. And also what we have here is we have another possible swing trade possibility on the dollar yen. So let's drag this line out here. And what we have is we have price broke our structure to the upside. So since price broke our structure, we can measure this bullish push right here. So look at this bullish push. We had a 50% retracement area where, quite incidentally, all this support was. So let's go down to the 4 hour and look at this. Oh, one more thing that I should not forget. But look at these daily EMAs. They're very close together. This is a sign the momentum is slowing down. The market cannot flip without these EMAs getting close together. It can't do it. There's reasons, there's ways to avoid like this type of thing, but it can't flip without these EMAs getting close together. So like way out here, this market isn't going to flip without the EMAs getting quite a bit closer together. So let's go to the 4 hour. And on the 4 hour here, we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And price just shot like a rocket from our 50%. So we are looking here, and that's pretty much all I see on the 4 hour. We had some kind of interesting wicking action. On the 1 hour though, we do have an interesting kind of support flip resistance area in this area. So we're looking for longs again on dollar yen, and we would have targets of 107.580, and we would look for entries in the area of 106.25 is where we'd be looking for entries. And if not, if it doesn't pull back to there, I'll show you guys how to get in if this market has too much momentum. So give me a second and we'll swap on over to MT4. Alright, so here we are over on MetaTrader 4. And what you'll see here is we had a bigger red candle than this green candle was. And we have more volume in this little green candle than we had volume in this bigger red candle. So that is a volume anomaly if you guys watched the last video. And what I'll show you guys now is the trick on how I'm going to get in this market if it doesn't pull back to the entry area. So we're only going to be able to get into this trade using this specific entry criteria during London. We're going to use the 30-minute parabolic czar. And so what we're looking for, and I'll show you guys a few examples, but these examples don't have the higher time frame confluence, so keep that in mind. But see how this market trended down during Asia, but then during London it flipped, and it flipped our parabolic czar right in this green candle. So when a market has a lot of momentum, it'll usually, go to our swing target or a little bit higher. But you still could have got, I guess, 15 pips if you're a small-time day trader or a scalper. But that's what we're going to be looking for, is we're going to be looking for a meaningful move during the London session. If you try to trade this way during the Asian session, you'll get tricked out. But when a market has a lot of momentum, like a swing trade, or some day trades have a lot of momentum, you can use this 30-minute parabolic czar if price doesn't pull back to the area you want to enter at. It's just showing you this market has too much momentum to pull back to where you want to enter, and the parabolic czar is almost like a trend line, but I don't use trend lines because I really don't like trend lines, but that's another story. And so if we have a meaningful move breaking our parabolic czar during the London session, I will enter this market if we don't come back to our entry zone. So this will give us a little bit higher of an entry, but about the same risk to reward, because all I'm going to do is put my stop below the Asian session for the long position if we get the parabolic czar entry. I'll just put it 5 pips below the Asian session. And yeah, it's a pretty simple trick. You just use the 30-minute czar to get in when the momentum's too strong. But I would prefer it pull back to our level, but the market does what it wants. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Trade your edge this week and have a good time doing it. Alright, bye.